What's up, guys? It's Ty from the Pop Culture Corner. Wow. We're back with another edition of TY's TV Time Supernatural Edition, and today is the last episode for what seems to be like it's going to be a while. Jensen and Jared have both gone on record, whether it be together or separate in interviews, saying that, at one point they'll kick the series back up, do maybe a little revamp, a little mini-series, or maybe a movie. Who knows? They've definitely left the door open for future projects in a way that I don't think anyone else saw coming. The way they did it, we know the Winchesters. So the way the episode ends, it definitely doesn't mean it's the end forever. So the way this episode worked, and I'm a little late on making this episode because we had an interview last night with Matt from the Lightcast podcast. So that should tell you guys how important that interview was to me, because we started that interview at the same exact time as Supernatural, the series finale started. So I'm a little late. I'm recording it the day after Supernatural aired on Friday morning. So let's get into it. The first hour was pretty much what you'd expect, if that means anything. It was a lot of cast and crew interview, with clips from throughout the 15 years. We started all the way from the Woman in White episode and went all the way to God and Jack's final scenes together. So I thought they did a wonderful job of really capturing the essence of what Supernatural is. Because it's not just a show. It's not. For most people that watch it, it's a lifeline. It's something that's been with them for so long. Me included. I've been watching Supernatural. I've said it on here before. I've been watching Supernatural since the day it came out. And it's held a place in my heart for more than half of my life. I'm 27 years old, and I've been watching it since the day it came out. So 15 years is a little bit, 3 years longer than it would be half of my life. And the themes of Supernatural will always stay with you no matter how long the show doesn't air new episodes. The themes are always going to be recurring. Whether it be staying together as a family, sacrificing yourself for the greater good, always keep fighting, mental illness awareness and prevention. These themes are constant, and they're constantly evolving. And I don't think Jared and Jensen will ever give up on Supernatural or giving up being Sam and Dean, because these characters mean so much to so many people. So that the intro, the hour, it really captured the essence of what Supernatural is to a lot of people, whether it be the soul of the show, always coming back to Sam and Dean's relationship being a third character, and a third and fourth character, fourth being Baby, or the car itself is what Kripke explained was the third character, but the relationship between the boys, that played a huge part in this show being successful. So they did a really good job at just kind of walking you through, because some of the episodes are corny. We can all admit that. Some of the episodes are definitely, they're not specifically advancing the story, but they weren't filler either. They were the boys being the boys, and for some people, those filler episodes, or those, the ones that didn't advance the story so much, are the ones that are the favorites. Dog Dean's Afternoon, the episode where, they go back and they're playing themselves in an alternate reality where monsters don't exist. So they went through all that, and it was beautiful to watch. I definitely teared up a couple times at, some the finality of it, and the severity of like what was to come, because we were, while I was watching this hour-long thing, like I knew that this was one of the final new Supernatural episodes that was ever going to air, and it was touching. And it was a great experience for me to watch it and just reflect in it. So they did a wonderful job. So happy they got everyone back, from Mark Pellegrino to Mark Shepard, Sam and Dean's mom, Kim Rhodes. So they did a wonderful, wonderful job at reuniting everyone. I can't stress this enough. Supernatural, please don't go away forever. Please don't go away for a long time either, because a lot of people do need you guys. I know they're promoting Jared's future project, Walker. I just don't see it being the same as Supernatural, or the fan base being as large for it. I know Walker Texas Ranger fans are pretty happy that Jared's taking over the mantle, but I don't think that show has the potential like Supernatural did to go on for so long and to carry so much weight, with people. So we shall see. I definitely think Jensen, him going to the boys is a much different and a much larger win for Jared and Jensen, because that show is on a different caliber. It's its own different thing, and Jensen's now going to be reunited with Eric Kripke and Bobby Singer, because he's Bobby Singer to me. I know they had Bobby Singer on the first one in the intro episode for the finale, but like I don't look at that guy and call him Robert Singer. Like Bobby is Bobby. Jim is Bobby. So wonderful job, wonderful job. And let's get into the episode. Because there's not a lot to go through, but the weight of it all was immeasurable, at least to me. Congratulations, by the way, to the internet. While I was uploading our interview with Matt from Lightcast, I didn't see one Supernatural spoiler. I went through my timeline, and I wasn't even thinking about it. I went through my timeline and everything, and I didn't see any spoilers. So here we go. It's the series finale, guys. Cue the tears. So we open up, and it's kind of, right away, it's a montage of Sam and Dean kind of being regular people. Just regular people, folding towels, whatever. But Dean did adopt a dog. Sam's running in the sun. They're going to buy for me, they're going to hate the happiness. That's just my take on things. But holy moly, Jared Padalecki, bro, you're still lean and you're still chiseled at your midlife age. Good for you. Dean makes his bed, like my ex-girlfriend does, while Sam does it like I do, which is perfectly. Dean lets Doggo clean off the plate. Sam's doing laundry and reading a book. Dean's cleaning his guns until he notices the time. And then he heads over to the conference table in the bunker, the one with the map on it. The song Ordinary Life plays throughout. Nothing weird is going on so far. But Dean's got something. Dean's always got something. And the boys head off. But wouldn't you know, Pie Fest is a thing in Supernatural land. So Pie Fest, Dean actually sheds a tear for this. Dean returns with 6 pieces of pie, but he notices Sam is wearing his sad Sam face. Whatever that is. But Sam does have a sad face. I'll agree. Sam has that face that something's like bothering him. Dean does too, but Sam is definitely more predominant. Sam is definitely thinking about Cass and Jack, wishing they were here to share in the win, the revel in the glory. Dean sachets the first piece of pie. No. Sam sachets the first piece of pie right in Dean's face after Dean gives it to him. And he feels much better because, look, he's been waiting to do that for a long time. For a long time, wanted to throw some pie in his face. And, it was a touching moment for the viewer, especially. Because, all these years, they've always used that gag, right? Dean loves pie. I remember one episode, Sam comes back. It was the one where Dean was in a cast. And after getting the shit kicked out of him, which I thought was really cool that they held on to that injury for a while, for at least another episode. But so Sam comes back with cake, and Dean isn't having it. I believe even Sam says something like, it's basically the same, and Dean, lets him know that it's not the same. Some dude is, we kind of cut over, and some dude is getting the mail, while his wife, she was pretty cute, while she sends the kids up to bed. So, nothing weird's going on. Their doorbell rings, he goes out, no one's there, right? And he's like, there's probably some kids. Turns around, the camera angle goes down, right? That supernatural angle where you're looking up from the waistline up. Slink! Sword goes right through. It was a sword or a machete, goes right through him. And all of a sudden, because for a while, I was like, are all the monsters gone? What's going on? Did Jack just get rid of everything? And a sword goes right through him. And then the wife yells in a panic, kids run! As if they have anywhere to run upstairs, right? Run into the corner, because, the kids aren't going to jump out the window, let's face it. You're sending them to their death. Mom screams, and one of the dudes tries to find the kids after killing, I think so it was a little confusing. I think they killed her. It sounded like they killed her. But one of the kids drags out from the bed after hiding from the monster. But then the next scene, the agents are all, taping off the crime scene, blah, 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 blah. Sam and Dean show up, posing as agents, federal agents, one last time together. And one of the agents says that they left the wife with just the tongue cut out, and that she drew them this picture. So what sounded like them killing her was really just them cutting her tongue out. I think she's alive, but they show the picture. Sam and Dean immediately recognize the picture as being an old case of Dad's. And they head to John's journal where they see the same drawing, and they figure out that, Dean makes a funny joke that vamp mimes, he thinks it's mimes, evil mimes. And they have the general banter between them is it's just fantastic. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So vamp mimes, Sam and Dean make pretty easy work of them once they're found. Once they find who fits the bill in the Canton, Akron, Route 77 area, they kind of figure out, narrow it down. They do all this off screen, and we pan right to the action. And that makes sense, because I was wondering why it was going so quick, but in hindsight, now I kind of understand it. So, really, really, so far, I'm having such a great time. Dean and Sam give one of the guys, the choice between the long blade and the itty-bitty blade, harassing him for his choice of the little blade. But they learn the kids aren't dead. They're with the rest of the nest, being held somewhere. They're going to fatten them up with fast food and Twinkies and Hostess cakes or is Twinkies Hostess? Is a Twinkie technically a Hostess cake? Is it? I believe it is, right? So sorry, same thing. So they're going to juice them up. Digging in their trunk for weapons. Dean just wanted to use the star thrower things, which I thought was funny because they kind of look like Jared's future badge that he's going to be wearing for Walker. Your typical Walker Texas Ranger badge. However, I think in the show it's a circle with an inner circle and then a star in between that. Sam overrides it. saying no. But poor Dean, right? Poor Dean. The vamp mimes are lurking about and leap out when Sam and Dean try to get the boys out of the barn. A nice big fight scene breaks out. Just like old times. And I thought they did a really good job at the action in this scene. Whereas the episodes previous kind of didn't, test the lines of, with COVID and everything like that and restrictions. They got one final good, romp around in, and I loved it. Heads lopping off all over the place. They got Dean on the ground. Dean knows their leader, it turns out. Makes a really, really funny exchange between him and the guys that are holding him. I believe he's like, it's like seeing someone from high school that, you don't really want to see. I think it's Jenny, right? Jenny was her name. They know her from like 100 years ago or whatever, from a case that they did. So she called dibs on Dean because of their history. But Sam, typical supernatural fashion, comes up behind her, lops her head off. And it falls to the ground after she, almost gets a taste of Dean's neck blood. Something happened. Something happened in the next. So another little tussle breaks out. And they keep panning to this rebar. And I thought they were going to put the monster through it. However, in the tussle, and I think we should do a moment of silence in a second. In the tussle, Dean gets thrown through the rebar, but Sam doesn't know it. So he just keeps going, and he cuts off the last monster's head, puts his sword in his sheath or in the belt loop, and then he's like, all right, let's get the kids out of here. But us, the audience, and Dean know that Dean's probably not going anywhere. Dean reiterates that fact. Sam comes over and he's like, come on, man. Like, checks him, realizes that this is actually pretty serious. Dean has an exchange with Sam that was very moving. Very moving. I cried a lot. But the whole time it was going on, I'll be honest with you, I thought they were going to pray to Jack. Jack will show up. After they have this touching tribute together, Jack would heal him and everything would go happily ever after. However, that was not the case. And I'm very disappointed. I'm still in a little shock. Still shocked that you did this to me, Supernatural. After their touching tribute to each other and to being together for so long, Dean insists Sam tell him it's okay. And he stays with him instead of getting help or the first aid kit. He doesn't want to get moved because he fears that he's being held together by the rebar. And if Sam moves him, then that's it. That's game over. That's, no more. So Sam stays with Dean. They have some words are exchanged. Lots of tears exchanged. Dean tells him it's going to be okay. And that Sam needs to tell him it's okay. And once Sam does say it's okay, Dean gently passes into the afterlife. Man, like I kind of want to tear up just even thinking about it right now. So Dean goes to heaven. Sam has a funeral, a hunter's funeral for Dean. This whole time I'm still thinking Jack's going to show up and save the day. When you're boys with God, like the new God, I mean, it just seems simple. However, Dean doesn't want Sam to bring him back again. He just wants to be at peace finally. He thinks that, this was always the way it was supposed to happen. And maybe it was. So, Dean goes to heaven, and the first person he sees is Bobby, of course. That line lingers throughout it echoes right here when Bobby says, "I'll see you on the other side, boys." And that he wasn't kidding. That was very much a foreshadow. And a lot of people did see that. So Dean sees Bobby. Bobby lets him know that Jack has been into heaven. Change things up. So no, you're not in your own little room anymore. You're not in your own slice of heaven. Heaven is another world at this point. You pass on, you go to heaven, and there you're free to mingle between everybody that is in heaven. He explains that John and Mary have a house right up yonder. Rufus lives across the street. I mean, it was just amazing. It's like it really, 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 really made a lot of people more okay with this. Dean looks over and Baby's there, and Bobby asks him, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do now that you're at peace and you're free? And Dean says, I'm gonna take a drive. Bobby lets him know, but Dean's still a little depressed because heaven's not complete yet. He needs his brother Sam. Bobby lets him know that time doesn't work the same up here. It doesn't. So Sam will be along in a little bit. However, we get to see how that happens. So Dean gets into Baby, takes a drive through a beautiful, beautiful scenery of mountains and lots of green trees, lots of pine trees, it looked like. Not pine trees, but the Christmas tree looking ones that are usually on mountains and stuff. Beautiful, epic, little montage happens with Carry On playing in the background. Dean mentions how he loves this song. And they keep driving. He keeps driving. While this is going on, it flashes back to what Sam's doing. So Sam goes on to live a full life. Again, I didn't expect them to do this, at least, because of the fact that I thought they would want to leave it open to, bringing the show back. So I don't necessarily know how they're going to do this. If not, bring Sam and Dean back from heaven together and go save the world again in some mini series. Then they go back to heaven, right? So Sam has a baby Dean. Loved it. He named his little baby after Dean. We don't see who he's married to. In the distance, I couldn't tell if it was Eileen or not. It looks similar to Eileen, but they never actually give that away. I feel like if it was Eileen, they would have showed her more. But so you kind of watch Sam grow older and baby Dean grow up and become a man. Dean's still driving while this is happening. Sam gets older and older and older and grayer and grayer and grayer. We see Sam pull the cover off of Baby and get in the car. He's graying, puts his hands on the wheel gingerly, and Dean's still driving. It's like they were connected at that point, and they could feel each other. So Dean knew it was almost time. So the next scene we see, after he puts his hands on the wheel, that scene ends with Sam being in a hospital bed, an old man, and what seems to be fading away. His son comes in, baby Dean comes in, who is now a man, with the same tattoo as the boys, and he lets Sam know that it's okay, and it's okay to go now. Sam cries, one tear, and fades off into oblivion, and then we see Dean again driving, stops on a bridge, gets out, kind of looking over into the sun, the sunset, and all of a sudden he feels a presence, looks behind him, and he says, "Hey, Sam." And they're reunited again in heaven. It was just amazing. This was one of the best endings for a TV show I've ever seen. Hands down. It might not have been crazy epic, crazy mind twists, but it was definitely... It could stand alone as an ending to a show. They could never bring this show back, and it would be a good ending still. So the scene ends with them reunited in heaven. Sam's back to his age that we know him as. So I guess that's how heavens work. You go to your prime age or something like that. Or you just go to the age that you want. It's heaven. You can be whatever you want. So the scene ends there. It ends there with them both looking over into a brook with, a little river. Really beautiful. Then it comes back and Sam and Jensen and Jared and the crew thank all the fans for the past 15 years. And then, fades to black, credits roll, and you hear cut. And that's it. That's the series, guys. Holy shit. As far as TV shows go, hey, at least it didn't end like Dexter, right? At least it didn't end like Game of Thrones, right? I mean, this was a good ass ending. I'm super, super happy to have been a part of this. I'm super happy that I was reviewing the last 7 episodes. I wish we had the channel a long time ago so I could have done this from season 13 or season 10 on. This was by far my favorite thing to do. I don't make money from this. This is a passion of mine. I can't monetize these videos because of what I do. I use songs from the episodes and stuff like that. So I do this because I want to, not because I'm trying to earn money or anything. I've battled my own demons, and my goal is to get Jensen and Jared and do a little segment with them for this. Maybe in the future, or we could talk The Boys. TV time isn't going away. TV time, we're just gonna switch shows. So if you guys have a show that's going on right now, whether it be The Mandalorian, His Dark Materials, Love, whatever it is, we'll continue to do this. Let's find a show together and let's keep doing this. Obviously, Drip isn't here because he doesn't watch Supernatural, so this is something I do alone. But let's find another show and let's keep doing this. I think it's so much fun. So, guys, it's truly been a pleasure. It's truly been a pleasure with, Supernatural family forever. Always keep fighting. If you're battling mental illness or depression or anything, I am always here to talk or anything. Right now, we're raising money for suicide prevention. I'll put a link in the description. If you have an extra $1 or $2, or 50 or 100, and you can help us reach our goal, that would be wonderful. Right now, we're in the middle of our DC and Snyder Cut expose, and we'd really like to help AFSP. So if you can do that, do that. If you can share, like this video, watch it through its entirety. All proceeds for the month from donations and from any money donated to the show, will go right to AFSP 100%. So, guys, I'm so sorry, but, that's all the time we have for you today. I truly am blessed to have been part of this ride for the past 15 years. I'll do my best to get a cast member from Supernatural on. We'll have a little powwow and talk Supernatural and their time on the show, whoever it was. And we'll just have a blast. So I was thinking from here on out, we can either do Mandalorian or His Dark Materials. Or we can do, I know I'll be doing WandaVision when that comes out. So let's figure out a show and let's keep this ball rolling. If no one has told you guys today, I love you. I'm here for you. And I'm free to talk anytime. Keep doing what you're doing and keep being the best version of yourself. Never let anyone tell you differently. If you have something that you're passionate about, never stop. Keep trying, even if you fail. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up. Supernatural has proved that once, time and time again. Never let anyone degrade you. Never let anyone treat you differently because of the color of your skin, your gender, or your lack of gender, for that matter. Dare to be different, dare to defy, and dare to speak out and be your own person. Don't ever feel like you can't be yourself, because we only know that we have this one life, and you need to live it the way you want. I love you again. Stay classy.